I'm super excited, guys. Welcome back to Clear Talk. This is the #1 show for coaches who want to scale and want to develop leadership in their industry. So the big question is, how did coaches like me and my team, how do we go from nothing and risk how we risked everything to build a business around helping other people? How do we get out there and get our message effectively across in our market, get clients for our programs, and make a huge profit while all making a big difference? That's the big question. This show gives you the answers to those questions. So the way this works is pretty simple. We go live every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube. If you're watching this right now and you like content like this, all you got to do is subscribe and hit that little notification bell, and you'll get notified every time we drop new videos. It'll be this show, and it'll be other trainings as well we have on my YouTube. And if you want to join us live, then you got to be in our Facebook group, the High Ticket Coaching Community, How to Scale to 7 Figures. So if you're live in the Facebook group right now, then just say, hey, what's up and where you're from. I got someone, Mary's from Canada. What's going on? Christine's from BC, British Columbia. We got Dominic from the UK. Daniel says Colombia, living in Doho near Dubai right now. That's pretty cool, man. So if you're live right now and you're on with me, you can put hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, just push hashtag replay so I know at least you caught it. Because what we're going to be talking about today is going to be, rarely talked about in the industry. Not a lot of people get to this point in business. And so not a lot of people can talk about this in business, which is the road and journey to $500,000 a month. Now, I know for some of you guys, you might only be at, maybe you're just starting out. Maybe you're at like 5, 10, 15K. You're like, man, if I just got to 50, that'd be crazy. Some of you are like, if I just got to 10, that'd be crazy. I mean, I know there's more people out there striving to hit that first 10K, 15K, or even 20 or 30K mark in the business. I'm telling you, it's very easy, very doable when you understand the things I'm about to talk to you right now in this training. And it's super simple. I know it might feel hard right now on the journey, but everything in the beginning is going to be hard because it's new, it's a challenge, and you're learning things. So my eyes are going to be down here for the comments as well. Actually, I'll put it right here. There you go. So I can see you guys' comments. There you go. Now, some of you watching this probably already at that 20, 30K mark. Maybe you're at 50. I know I have people in this group that are already doing 100 grand a month. So now the question is, what do we have to focus on at what part of the journey so that we can get to the next level? And what I call this is removing bottlenecks. Okay, yeah, awesome. What's up, Lauren? Yeah, I can see you all good. Okay, so the question is, how do we remove what bottleneck at what part of the journey? When we get to 0 to 10K, 10 to 30, 30 to 100, 100 to 250, 250 to 500. Last month, we did $660,000 in sales in my coaching business, which is kind of wild because the month before we only did 250. And so we've like tripled in like a month. And the month before that, we only had a $200,000 month, which is pretty crazy. So we're growing exponentially, and I'm learning a lot as I grow. And so because I'm a student of business and because I'm a student of growth, I'm going to share with you guys what I'm growing and learning about. My next step is obviously $1 million in a month. At this point, it's not about money anymore. It's just about impact, because the more sales we make, that means the more people are in these programs and they can get help. What's cooler is that we've had clients like come in their first 14 days in our program, like they crushed $56,000 in sales. People that literally had no money left and they put their last dollars into our program came in, like our client Christine, who's probably watching right now, who did $56,000 in 14 days. Simultaneously, there's been people in our other programs as well who've done 100, they're at 150 grand, 60 grand now. And they've only been in the program for less than 2 months. So it's not, those results are not typical. Obviously, every person has to use what they got. Some people come in, they're brand new, and they have to like literally learn from scratch the foundations of what it takes to just build a good business. So those people won't do that kind of numbers off the bat. That's the realistic perspective of that. So I wanted to do a training today on the journey and at what stage and what revenue point you need to focus on what bottleneck to remove. Because at every level, to get to the next level, there's always a bottleneck. That's really all it is. And it's not about anything else, actually. Business is about solving problems. But what can happen is most people will either focus on solving the wrong problems, therefore they go in a cycle and never actually advance to the next stage in their business, or they just don't know how to solve the problem in the most efficient, fastest, and effective way possible. And so what happens is they take 10 times longer than they have to. Like a problem that could take a week to fix or a day to fix, they take months to fix. And so I'm gonna right now share with you the bird's eye view of what it looks like to go from 0 to 500 grand, and at what stage you need to focus on to remove so that you can get to that next level of revenue stage. So I'm actually gonna share my screen. I'm gonna do a little training here. Let me just bring this up right now. And if everyone can, by the way, if you're just tuning in, let me know. Why don't you comment hashtag live if you're here, and let me know in the chat box where you're tuning in from, which would be great. So everyone can see this, right? Obviously you can see this. I just did that. You can see that. I'm looking at my screen right here from the side. So I'm just gonna have that right there. So here's what it's gonna look like. Now let's do it like this, okay? I'll put this over here. Journey to 500K. All right. So I'm gonna do my best at drawing. I'm not an artist. So okay, we got this. Actually, you know what I could do? I always forget I have this tool here. There you go. There we go. Nice and symmetrical. So I'm gonna be drawing this line. So this is gonna be obviously 0. It's gonna be about 10K, right? This is gonna be about 30K. This is gonna be about 100K. This is gonna be about 250K, and then you got 500K. Okay. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna put this here, right here. So let's put this up here. Journey to 500K a month. Let's put that here. Is that a 0? Come on, guys. I'm gonna say what's removing bottlenecks in the business. All right, but then it's pretty simple. All right, everyone's got it. Let's rock and roll, baby. So here's how this works. Essentially, every stage of the business, it requires you to focus on something completely different. Okay, and so a lot of people try to do all of it at once. Like everyone's trying to do what you'd have to focus on 10, 30, and 100K at like 0. That's why you never get it off the ground, because the inability to focus on one thing at a time is going to be your biggest kryptonite. Okay, it's an illusion to think doing more things means you're getting more done. That's not true. Doing more things is not. Abdul says, when I see Armin in my notification, I remember Attack on Titan. Okay, great. I hope that's a good thing. So doing more things in your business and trying to handle more or solve more problems at the same time doesn't work. Okay, problems, like real problems that move the needle in your business, are usually going to require all your attention, focus, and energy, and it's going to require your patience, right? Because you can't just try to half-ass something and then move on. It's not going to work. So what I'm going to show you here is essentially what I believe to be the best thing to focus on at every stage to get to the next level. It's never going to be absolute like this. So like I remember I fixed my 100K problem like off the bat. And I also wish I didn't do it that way, because I ended up spending a lot more time to get to 100K because of that, because we did all the hard things first that doesn't produce money and solve the wrong problems. And no one was there to teach me this. So I'm trying to save you guys time, because if I had solved these problems in order, I would have built a business way more systematically and way more sustainably. But what I did is I kind of juggled for like 6 months. Like my first month I launched and I did ads. I did like 34 grand in sales. And then I literally hit 0 the next month, and I hit like barely 12 the next month, and I hit kind of 26 the next month, and I got a refund. So it was only like 18. And then I was like, the next month, it was just tough. I was like struggling. So for like 4 or 3 months after I, tried to solve all the problems at once at 0 to 30, I jumped too quickly. I forgot, I didn't know what to focus on. So it just pissed me off. I just kept going in circles. And then I figured out, okay, let me just focus on this, and boom, $58,000 a month. Then I focused again, and boom, $106,000 a month. And then I went back to focusing on my next problem so I can get to 250K, because I'd fixed my 100K problem. And that's when I kind of lingered with the sales. I went back to like 30, 50K because I wasn't pushing for sales. I was trying to fix a different problem. It doesn't make more money. And then when I fixed it, boom, we hit 80K again in February. And then we jumped to 200,000, 199,000 in March. And then again, I hit that 250 mark. To me, I'm like 200, 250, whatever, same thing. I hit the stage. I'm like, okay, I got to fix the next thing. And then I fixed the next thing. It took me a month or so to get it off the ground and fix these bottlenecks. And then what happened was, boom, 250K, and then 660 grand. So I know for a fact that if you follow this in order, you're going to get your business built properly. Now, something's going to happen for people watching this. Some of you are going to watch this and go, man, I know why I'm not getting anywhere, because I'm doing the wrong thing at the wrong stage. Some of you are gonna have that breakthrough, like, holy crap. Some of you are gonna watch this and go, I'm doing everything exactly the same way, the perfect way, and I just gotta be patient. Exactly. Others are gonna watch, and you're gonna notice how you didn't even understand what to focus on because you're trying to do everything. So let's get started, guys. When you're starting out from the start right here, let me bring this in. So when you're starting like right here, which is just the beginning, the thing that gets you from here to here, okay? I'm not gonna play a Q&A guess because I don't really like the delay between Zoom and Facebook. So you guys are gonna answer too late. But some people would say, oh, I gotta focus on sales. To get to my first 10K in a month, I gotta focus on sales. I gotta focus on I gotta get leads. You don't gotta do any of that. And the fact that you're focused on sales or leads, it makes no sense to me. The only thing that matters here, only bottleneck, is your offer, okay? The only bottleneck that you need to work on fixing if you can't get to 10K is your offer. Why? Because any offer, if it's a coaching offer, should be nothing less, in my opinion, than $2,500, and that's if it's a beta for a brand new program. I mean, minimum should be $5,000. You know, that's high ticket at the low end. But 2,500 minimum. Anything lower than that, you're just underselling yourself. Nothing's worth less than 2,500 to $3,000 if you're selling some form of coaching, especially one-on-one. It's crazy if you're doing that for 2 or 3 months and charging so little. But sometimes we tell our clients to do that because it's a beta, so you don't want money to get in the way of you getting clients, but you want to get testimonials and results in. So most people can't get to 10K because the bottleneck is their offer either isn't clear, isn't good, or isn't like scalable. It's not sellable. So if you can't get to 10 grand, which is like 4 clients at 2,500 or 2 clients at 5, which is so easy to do, your offer is the problem, not your sales. I mean, your sales could be the problem. Maybe you're just bad at closing. Maybe you're just bad at getting leads. I'm not saying that. If you're getting 0 leads or 0 calls booked and barely getting any sales because you just don't know how to do it, sure, that could be still a problem. I'm not saying it's not. But I'm telling you, the biggest bottleneck would be your offer, because even a great offer with a bad sales rep could still get a sale. I remember this because I didn't know how to sell how to sell like too much on the phone, high ticket, all the stuff in the beginning. But my offer was really good, and I worked really hard to make sure my offer was like amazingly good for any coach that talks to me. They're like, I need this. So if your offer is good enough, even if you're not great at sales or you don't get many leads, you just get a few bites here and there, and like you get on calls, you'll still get 1 to 3 clients because they go, well, this offer, I need this because this problem is a big problem. So that means the offer actually is sellable. You guys getting me so far? So to get to 10K, you need to make sure your offer is good. If you can't even get to 10, that means your offer has a problem in it. Your offer either doesn't have a big enough, high ticket enough problem. You're not clear on who your niche is. So you're just kind of getting anyone, and everyone who gets on the phone with you feels like you're not for them. You're not a specialist, you're a generalist, which is the problem. Or you're not clear on your method, which is a big thing we work on with our clients too, because if you are not clear on how you help people, like in your coaching, what's your coaching process? What's that 4 to 6 or 8 steps that you take people through? That's your thing. If you don't have that, like we help you create that in my program. But if you don't, it's a big sales killer, because you're on the call, and when they start asking questions about how you're going to help them, you don't know how to answer. And there's 2 things every prospect needs to close. Number 1 is an end result, a defined end result that they go, okay, if I pay you, that's what I'm getting, right? If you can't tell them exactly what the end result of your program is, and it can't be something just weird like you'll feel better about your life. Like you can't, that's a byproduct of the end result. You know, what is it better of? You'll be able to lead meetings with confidence by speaking properly. Oh, okay, so that's the end result. You're going to hold your first meeting at work and actually crush the presentation. With the byproducts, you feel better about yourself. But you can't make the outcome of your program, you're going to feel better about yourself. No. And I'm not saying you can't have intangible outcomes. You can. We have an entire training in my program called quantifiable thinking, which is how to turn intangible results to tangible by thinking of it through cause and effect. And so I don't want to get into that and like overwhelm you, but my point is, it's not that intangible outcomes aren't sellable. They are, but you have to attach it to something tangible. You can't just say, feel better, have a stronger connection with relationships. Like, but how? What does that look like? Well, what's the outcome of that? My point is, if you're unclear on these things, like the end result, and the second one is your process. So what's the bird's eye view? What you're going to do with them? No one's going to feel certain enough to pay you money because you're uncertain. And if you're even 1% uncertain from 100% when you're selling your stuff or your offer, you're not going to close because people are going to smell it on you, man. If there's anything I had when I was in the beginning where I was still kind of figuring things out when I was selling, my initial price was, I sold my program for like $300 on beta, but I sold that as a course first. And then I'm like, I'm going to turn this into coaching because I love coaching. I don't want to just get people to watch videos. And I sold for $5K off the bat. That was my initial starting price. It's a lot more than this now. But back then I remember the only thing I did have is certainty that if they pay me, man, I'm going to help them. I know exactly how to help them. And that got me to close sales. That was my initial $34,000 in sales, that I got into my program. It's because my offer was strong. So offer is the biggest bottleneck. If you can't get to 10K or 15K, since your offer is unclear, there's something wrong with your offer. People are biting on it. If you're not getting leads, because your offer is not getting you leads, because no one cares about what you're selling, and you're approaching it the wrong way. If you're not getting sales, it's because no one understands what the problem is you're solving. That's all offer. Your offer is who, what, how. If people don't pay you money, or they kind of pay you and they refund, or they don't want to pay you a lot, because they don't know how you're going to help them. So your who, your what, your how is your offer. If any of these three things are unclear, you're not going to hit 10K. You're not going to hit anything. You might get one client for free, or like something for $200 an hour. And I'm not talking about $100 sessions. I'm talking about getting an actual client for 2 or 3 months to work with you for like $2-3 grand minimum. Okay. Now let's say your offer is good and you get to 10K. Well, now the question is, Harmon, how do I jump 3 times the size to 30? Well, most people will think, okay, I have to, my offer, right? My offer. No, offer is just the beginning. You have a good foundation. Your offer is important throughout the whole thing, obviously, but to get to 30K, a lot of people go, man, I need to focus on getting leads. I got 10K, I made sales. Let me book more calls. Let me do more organic. Let me run some ads now. Some of you guys are crazy. You're like, let me go run some ads. You only have $10,000 in sales to prove your offer. And you're like, let me go run some ads. No. Okay, running ads, you need at least $3,000 of a budget to be willing to just dump, to test things and actually properly get leads for that. It takes patience as well. There's so many moving parts in an ad process. That's why we have an entire specialist. I have a media buying specialist in my team that gets on one-on-ones with people in my program to help them learn how to do rapid fire testing, learning how to scale their ads and like set them up. It's not some quick thing you do. It's not like, don't let these internet guys sell you guys. I got sold on this stuff too. Okay. And it's not that simple. They're all like, just turn on an ad and then, just calls come in. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Trust me. It takes months of preparation, knowing how to make the right ads, who to target, fixing the targeting, fixing the audiences. It's a whole, and that was back when it was easy. Now it's like, you got all this complicated stuff with the iOS stuff. So we're still running some ads very minimally, and we're doing it for different reasons than to get calls. My calls all come organically, but in this process right here, you don't need to focus on getting leads, okay? Because technically what I notice is over here, I notice a lot of people are getting leads, but they're not closing enough. So what's the big bottleneck here? Let's write it down, sales, okay? This is the big bottleneck you need to focus on to get to 30K. If you were able to close, your first 1, 2, 3 clients or 4 clients and get to 10K, that's good. But now it's like you're getting more calls, but you're not able to close at a higher price. Because if you take that same $2,500 offer or 3K offer, whatever, or 5K, and turn it to 5 or 10K, guess what's going to happen? Your sales ability lacks. So what happens? You don't close these deals. So let's say someone gets 10 calls in a month. If you can sell 3 of them at 10K, that's 30K, right? But some of you guys are like, no, I have a $2,500 offer. You're too scared to go high ticket. And so that's a sales issue. It's a sales mindset because you don't know how to sell high ticket. And you go, well, I got a $2,500 offer. For me to get $30,000, I got to sell 12 people. Guys, if you have to sell 12 people to make 30 grand, there's a fundamental problem with your pricing. Your pricing is way too low. That's not scalable. Okay. It's not scalable. And it's funny because the difference is between charging 2,500 and charging 10 grand or charging 8 or 7 or even 5. You know what the difference is? Knowing how. It's not a simple answer for that. Knowing how and having a lot of certainty in yourself to do it. Literally, there's no you don't have to add something to the offer. You actually don't. Very, very rarely do you have to add a deliverable or add more things or make it a longer program. You don't need to do that stuff. I know programs that sell that's literally 8 weeks, it's $10,000. So you guys are like, if I make it a year long, someone will pay me 10 grand. Stop. No, it's not about the length. Okay. Let me give you one little tip right here on sales. You can sell any offer at any price as long as the end result that they're achieving is more valuable than what they pay. I can sell a $100,000 offer to somebody as long as the result that I'm getting them is more than $100,000, or as long as the problem I'm solving for them is more than $100,000. It's all relative. Pricing is relative, my friends. You don't have to be something more or add more things. You have to make sure that the reason they're paying you, the reason is more expensive than what you charge. That's it. How simple, right? But there's obviously training. I have a whole 3-hour training on offer creation alone and pricing yourself and making a high ticket. So I'm not going to lie to you and say it's that simple. It's not, but it's just a start to get you in the right direction. So if you get 10 calls and you can't close 3 of them at 10, or you can't close whatever, 6 of them at 5, that's a sales problem. You don't need to book 20 calls to make 30 grand. No, you got to close more of your sales. So this is the big bottleneck here. Now, what happens if we want to go from, let's say we go, okay, Armin, we're good at selling. We get 10 calls. We close at least 3 to 5 of them at anywhere from a 5 to 10K price point. So you're making some good money. Well, now the question is, how do you triple $30,000 a month business to 100 grand? Think about this. You're going from 30 to $100,000, right? Now, at this point as well, you have to, I want to make something very clear. At this point as well, going from 30 to 100, you got to really make sure, let me just do that. You got to really make sure that you love what you do. You got to make sure the offer you're selling is something you're passionate about, because a lot of people can get from here to here with something they don't give a shit about. A lot of people can get to up to 30 grand with an offer they don't even care about, but like, yeah, but it sells, let me sell it. Because here's the thing, when we get from here to here, you're talking about tripling your entire business process. And now you're adding in like people to work with you and stuff. If you don't like what you do at 10 or 30 grand a month in clients, you're going to hate your life at 100. So you got to be very careful what you spend your time doing. You got to be careful like what you're selling. From the beginning, you should care about being in line with something you care about, but also in the mix of like it's sellable too. But if you don't like what you're doing, be careful, because when you get to 100 grand a month, your life's going to be hell. Okay. There's another big little secret I had, which is like, I loved what I did. And even though I had some elements to it that I like wasn't my passion, but I was good at it, I still found how I could love it and integrate it with the things I do love. So now the question is, okay, Armin, my offer is good. I got to 10K. I know how to close. I get 5 or 10 calls. I close them at a high price point. That's 30K. How do I get to 100 grand? This is only when you start focusing on leads. Okay. Leads. Now, this is funny because most people are like 0 and they're thinking about how to solve their lead problem. See what I'm talking about, guys? Most people are at 10. They're like, I need more leads. No, you don't. You need to close the leads you're getting. Sometimes I get people on my coaching calls come, Armin, I need to book more calls. I'm like, okay, how many calls have you booked this month so far? It's been like 14 days, like 20 calls. I'm like, how many did you close? 2. Why are you closing 2 out of 20 calls, man? 5 of them didn't show up. I'm like, well, then your offer is an issue because people aren't showing up because they don't care about the problem enough to solve it. You need to get better at the pre-qualifying before they book a call. And you go, okay, out of 15, you only close 2. Why? Well, and this is all the same bullshit I was getting. They're not qualified. They're not my exact ideal client. They're not this, they're not that. They have money issues. Guys, listen, everybody has money issues. Everyone can't afford something that they don't know the value of. I'm going to say that twice. Everyone can't afford something that they don't know the value of. Everyone can't afford something if they don't know the value of the something they're paying for. You understand? So everyone's going to give you a money objection. If your offer is not strong enough, if your sales skills are not good enough, everyone's going to give you the same bullshit objection. You know how many clients we get in our program that said they had no money on their application, that they're dying in their application? They get on the call, they're crying to us on the call. You know how many people we got that all ended up paying in full or signing up with one of our payment plans? After my first 100 calls I did, I realized I'm never going to take any person's circumstance seriously out of respect to them, because everyone's afraid if they're in a bad position in life, not the people who are already making lots of money, they have different problems. I'm talking about the 0 to 10K, 0 to 30K mark, people that are just struggling, trying to figure it out. They're always going to have some excuse, man. They're always going to have some excuse. Your job in sales is to get really good at breaking them through the fear. Like literally, I have clients that like were crying on my sales calls when I used to do them. And I would be on the call and they're like, oh my God, I'm shaking. I'm going to do this. I'm like, okay, good. Because I was good at what I did. And 2 months later, I'm getting a message from them like, I'm staying up, listening to your modules. The coaching calls have changed my life. Thank you so much for holding me accountable on the call. So you guys got to get better at that, man. Then and only then do we talk about leads. Now we talk about, should we introduce some ads here? So we get clients to that 30, 50K a month mark, and then we introduce something called an AGF funnel, right? Which is an audience growth funnel. And it's pretty much how we use a lead magnet, and we run ads on Facebook to get people to want to get the lead magnet. And then we push them to our Facebook group. We push them to an email sequence so that they book a call with us and eventually work with us. That's how you hyper accelerate lead generation, because you can only do so much organic where you organic is really powerful. I did the 666,000 like last month. Most of it was organic. So I'm not saying organic can't get you to multiple 6 figures a month. It can. But the next level of that is we can also run ads to these people that don't know us, give them serious value, bring them into our world and organically close them. I'm a big fan of this method this hybrid method of organic I figured out. And I kind of put together, because I learned from internet marketers who used to do webinar funnels, email sequences, retargeting ads. And then I went to the organic world. And I learned from all the people who post in Facebook groups and ROI content and all this stuff. I combined it, creating something of hyper organic. And hyper organic is a systematic approach to organic, where you have a content calendar, where you have a group set up, you have a streamlined process for how to book calls and a conversation process. And then on top of that, you add some ads in there, and ads come in and they fill your list and your group with strangers. So you got the combination of the internet world and the organic worlds coming together. That's what's really been responsible for us, having consistent results in our, I think in like July last month, there was like only 6 days or 8 days out of the whole month we didn't make money. And when we made money every day, it was like anywhere from 4 to 5 figures. And one of the days were even 6 figures we made in sales. And so it's like, it was pretty cool to see money come in every single day and clients enroll every single day, which is cool. And if you guys want to get to that, I'm trying to give you the secrets, the direct, non-BS approach to doing that. So leads, this is where you talk about ads, and you talk about really dialing in, like getting a call center. You're getting someone who can streamline your book calls, getting people on your team that can go out and like get leads. So this is something, every step of the way we help in our programs, and we help in our scaling your clients program and in our elite 7-figure leadership program. But once you get to 100K, it's just about adding more calls. So if you can close, anywhere from 20 over here, 20 to 40, 50%, like one of our best clients, 60% close rate. And they did 160 grand last month. They have a 60% close rate because they use our sales training and our high ticket sales process. But if you can close that many sales, then if you get more calls, it's just a matter of numbers game, correct? Now you just reverse engineer. How many calls do I need to close this many sales to get this much cash? So now the question is, you get to 100K. A few of my friends in this group, they're at the 100K, like 50 to 100K. Question is, why do you get to $250,000? Armin, what do you focus on? Let me tell you. So the bottleneck that you need to watch out for when you're growing from 100 to 250 grand is not sales and not leads, not offer. Okay. You gotta listen to me right now. It's delivery. Okay. What am I trying to say about delivery? Well, if you're a coach, most of us are taught to either do one-on-ones or group coaching, correct? And so the only ways of coaching we know is by delivering our time in exchange for the money. Now, sometimes it gets worth it because you charge a lot. I remember when I was charging $25,000 for one-on-ones with me for 90 days. That's a pretty good price point to justify me spending 90 days of my life one-on-one with a person every week. I don't have that anymore. Now we have our elite program, which is $50,000, but it's over 6 months. And I do monthly events. I do weekly KPI sessions with the companies. We grow their companies exponentially to multiple 6 figures a month. So I've made it more streamlined so I can help more people in elite in my 7-figure leadership program. And I also help them with developing team, finding people in their team, and training their staff. Like I'll train their sales team. My team will train their call setters. It's a pretty hefty program. That's why it's also 50 grand, because people will literally make 10 times or more than that in the program, the duration of 6 months. But back then I was doing 25K for one-on-one. I remember now that same thing is over. I have a 1-year mentorship program. It's 100 grand. And what I do is I meet every single, like consistently with the person over a year. And I work with everything else they get in my offers, obviously, but I work closely with the person on spiritual development and leadership development so they can literally grow effortlessly, let like things happen for them. Some deeper thinking, grow rich stuff that I've learned that's been responsible for my growth exponentially. But back then I was like 25K in 9 days. That's worth it. But not everyone watching this is gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna charge 25 grand. Like you're like, who the hell will pay me 25 grand for 9 days of coaching? And the irony of it is, some of you guys go, Armin, it's easy to sell, make money. Let me tell you something. Majority of people that buy my programs, the most expensive ones, they don't even buy because of making more money. That's just like a justification. They really come to me because they're like, man, I'm unhappy with how things are going. I need to have more leadership. I feel like I don't have control of my business. It's completely non-money related stuff. It's more stuff about their personal problems and how they relate themselves to their business. So it's like I'm doing leadership coaching, which is kind of cool. So if you guys are doing like life coaching, breakthrough coaching, any form of performance coaching, that's literally what I sell. Not making more money. That's like most people that come to me in the 50 or the 100K, they literally already make good money. They're just like, man, I want to have a better life with this money. I'm like, great, let's do that. So just so you know, it's not just always make money offers are easy. By the way, some of my clients that crush 100K, 50 to 100K, they have nothing to do with money they're offers. They're more about personal development, public speaking, passion finding. It's pretty cool. So the bottleneck you got to watch out for between 100K and 250K is delivery. Why? Because if you're at 100 grand a month, let's say you have a 10K offer, that's only 10 clients a month. That's not too bad. Not a lot of clients, you can handle them. If you have a group program, they're probably teaching every week, right? Over a 90-day period or something. If you're doing a one-on-one program, that means your whole week's being filled up with one-on-ones. I remember when I launched my 25K offer, I had about 7 or 8 full-time active members in that one-on-one program. Now we have almost 20, but it's because more obviously group it's streamlined. So I'm intimate groups instead of one-on-ones with me. But I also give one-on-ones to everyone, but not everyone uses it, which is crazy. But I still do the one-on-ones too. It's accessible. But in that program, I was like capped out, guys. I had like 2 days out of the week where I was literally back-to-back 90-minute sessions. And I loved it. I was growing, but I'm like, man, I can't just keep doing this. If I want us to make another 200 grand in sales again, I have to sell 10 more of these. And I'm like, no. Because then I'm going to have like 4 days a week. And literally I would be back-to-back, like from 10 a.m. to like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. my time. I would be 90 minutes. I would stop 30 minutes, 90 minutes, stop 30 minutes, 90 minutes. So you can make a lot of money doing this. And if your goals are only to make a few hundred grand a year, it's not a big deal. But like you will burn out. I have a really good high performance habits and system in my life, and I have a strong attitude. So even for me to get burned out, it takes a lot. And at one point I'm just like, dude, cancel the stuff today. I got to go to a spa or something. I got to do something. So it's like, I know if I can't handle that stuff, a lot of people that haven't spent years working on themselves like I have, like you guys will burn out quick, man, if you haven't worked on yourself. So if you're at 100K a month and you're getting 25K clients, which is, by the way, hefty, you got to raise the price if you're at that many clients. You don't want to have to get 20 clients to get 100K. It's not going to be scalable. It's going to be chaotic. You want to get at least 10,000, or you want to have a back-end offer, something that's worth 20 or 30 grand to the people paying 5 or 10K to you, and sell them that. So like in my elite program, I have, we work on creating an elite offer. And so some of my clients have built a 20 or $30,000 offer. And what will happen is they'll make their first 50 to 80 grand in their 5K or 10K sales, and then they'll make an extra 100 grand or 80 grand just from the 20K sales. And so as you can see, it's really easy to hit 100 to 200 grand a month, getting from here to here with a back end elite offer. So delivery is what the bottleneck is. You got to focus on fixing. So if you're still tied to your clients' results, like you got to actually see them for them to move on in your program, you're going to hate your life at 250 grand. You don't want to scale to 250 grand with that being your model. So what we do is we teach something called an on-demand coaching model in SGC. Essentially, it's combining an online training. So you take your coaching process, you turn it into video trainings. And there's a way we do it. It's not just the course, because the course is more like do it yourself. We've integrated our training into a coaching process. So like I have in my programs, they have to submit things and bring it on calls, and we got to review their offer. Like we have an offer assessment, high ticket offer assessment. We actually look over and we make sure so the coaching is involved with the training, but the training is taking away 80% of the what to do and why you need to do and how to do it off my hands. So what happens is my clients come in and they literally just watch it. They understand what to do. They implement it. They get some results and come back for coaching. This coaching, guys, is not about teaching people what to do. Coaching is about asking great questions strategically, strategizing with the client on how to do it better or fix what's not working. So I actually get to actually coach. A lot of people sell courses, live courses, and think that's coaching. It's not. A lot of people sell live courses and think it's coaching. It's not. You know what I mean by that? They sell like a step-by-step, let me teach you how to do this, let me teach you how to do that. But that's not coaching. That's teaching. You get what I'm saying? So I'm looking at the comments over here. If you guys have any questions, by the way, just let me know, and I'll answer them. By the way, if this is good so far, I'm going to drop a fire emoji in the chat right now. I don't want to move forward until I see fire emojis coming into the chat. I know I got a ton of people watching right now. If you guys are getting value from this, drop some fire emojis in the chat right now. I want to make sure you guys are getting some value. You guys are getting, I'm not just speaking to no one. I want to make sure you guys are getting this. Chris says, I love this. Dominic is still on with us. Vishal, what's going on, brother? Bamal, what's up, brother? Miss you so much, man. If you guys are getting some value, drop some. What's up, Allah? You got to drop some fire emojis in the chat, man. I got to know if this is making sense to you guys. Come on, baby. You guys getting this? Is it clearing up what you need to focus on in what part of the business? Again, not everything is always definite. It's not like you don't think about delivery until 100 grand. No. If you can get your offer going, your sales going, leads going, but you're at like 30, you're at 50 grand and your leads are coming in and you have time now. Okay, let me go start working on building video trainings. You can do that. Like I said, I did the video trainings off the bat, which is why it also took me months to just get my launch off the ground, because I thought I had to build everything off before I did it. What's up, Sean, Moika, Dominic, Allah? Elizabeth, hey, just popped in. Great. We're doing a training on the journey to 500 grand a month with the coaching business and what to focus on every stage. So far we've covered every stage from going from here to here in revenue. What is the bottleneck we have to remove or fix? So just to recap, everyone who's joining us live right now, I've been focused on leads, should be nailing down my offer and sales process first. Yeah, Sean, man. You guys are focused on getting leads when you don't even know if your offer is good or if it actually can get results or if people even care about it and you don't even know if you can sell it. If you can sell at a high ticket price, right? Raquel, what's going on, love? Just joined our program. Congrats and welcome to the family. So check this out. Elizabeth says, can you do the same model with mentoring self-love? Yeah, you can. Listen, any offer can be sold. Again, I think you just missed it because we just talked about how pricing is relative. As long as the end result you promise your client that they're paying for is more expensive than the price you pay, literally you can charge anything. You know, I have $100,000 offer because what I'm going to do with this person over a year is worth millions. So it's all relative. Your ability to sell that, your ability to get on a call and make sure they get that is your skill set. It's not the offer. I mean, the offer is, but I'm saying it's not like as if the offer itself is not doable. There's no such thing as an unsellable offer. There's bad offers. Like you can try to sell water, I don't know, what's something stupid right now? Sure, sell ice to Eskimo. Like that'd be a stupid offer. Why would I sell ice to an Eskimo? They're like literally delivering ice. So there is such thing as bad offers. Like it doesn't really solve a real problem. And you know, the person doesn't need it. Like sure, that's a bad offer. But any offer can be sold as long as the end result is valuable to the person. So if you want to get to 10K, you got to focus on your offer being great. That's the bottleneck. That's the reason you haven't hit 10K is what I'm trying to say. If you haven't hit 30K yet, is you mostly because you're not good at closing at a higher price, at a high price point, which is what I'm talking about here when I say sales, not just closing, but closing at a high price, like 5 or 10K minimum. Because 30K should only be 3 to 6 clients to you maximum. First time I hit 34 grand, I did whatever 6 or 7 clients in a month. And then I tried to scale to 100 grand. It was so hard. You know how I hit my first 100 grand month last year? I sold a $20,000 offer. Yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to tell you guys. I sold 4 of them. So I got 80,000. I did 20,000 and 5K sales. So I had 106,000 after like collecting everything with interest. So my point to you guys is like, you can't get to 6 figures a month solely. You can, but it's really stupid to get to it solely on a core offer, solely on a $3,000 to $10,000 offer. It's not like if your price point's 10, that's different because it's only 10 to get to 100. But if you try to get there with a 5K offer or a 6 or 7, like just not smart, man. I'm telling you. I'm not saying you can't, but trust me, you don't want to have to onboard 15 to 20 clients to hit that number. Because trust me, at the end of the month, you could be like, that wasn't worth 100 grand. I should have got paid 500 grand for this many clients. So you want to kind of upgrade your offer by focusing on a bigger problem and focus on a higher ticket niche. And so it's easier to hit massive numbers. When you think about it, when I have a 50K offer, and I leads $50,000. People make a lot of money in it. They change their lives. They build teams. It's a pretty cool offer. It's a hefty offer. And they learn stuff they can't even learn from anywhere about thinking, grow rich and stuff that I've learned. But I only need 2 of those to hit 100 grand. You see what I'm saying? And so now the question is, you guys are like, man, how do I sell a $50,000 thing? How do I sell a $20,000 thing? How do I even sell a $10,000 thing? My answer to you is not alone. That's how. If you knew how to do it, you would do it. And you thinking that some free content somewhere, like even this training, I'm only giving you a perspective. How do you expect for you guys your confidence and certainty level to go from like, I only charge 2 grand, 5 grand, maybe even 10 grand, but like, how do I charge 50? How do you expect that to happen through a screen? Come on, guys. If it was that simple, come on, man. You know how much money I've spent into coaching and mentorship myself? I spent over 200 grand minimum in the last year and a half alone, just in my own development. I bought a lot of people's programs. I bought a lot of people's programs. I can list them off for you. It won't even matter because I went to the biggest ones and I was just a number in their programs because they're so large. But I took what I did as a student. I'm like, let me just learn on my own. And then I'm like, you know what? When my clients come to me, I'm going to make real damn sure I give them attention and focus. That's what we do in our program. Even in our core program, which is not even my highest like offer, we give one-on-ones with my team. Like you guys, you can get on a 1 to 2 hour Zoom call session with someone on my team. And we work with you one-on-one and give you attention. No client, no program does that, man. Trust me, I bought a lot of them. None of them do that. And I hated it. So Elizabeth says, so tired of this. I hear you. Time freedom is what we're looking for now versus one-on-one clients. Okay, so listen to me because this is what I just covered. Okay, delivery. So look, some of you guys are like 30K and you're capped out because you're selling one-on-ones for 2 grand. That's why you're capped out. So what are we saying? Your problem is still sales. You get like 20 grand, but you sold a 2K offer. So you have 10 one-on-ones to do. Holy crap. Okay. Your 30K should be hitting 3 clients. If you're doing one-on-ones, 10 grand minimum. Stop this. Stop it. Okay. If you don't know how to sell 10K, you need help. I don't know how else to tell you. If I could just give you like, if I could just tell you something that would like click you on to sell a 10K offer, I would. I honestly would. It makes the world a better place. Everyone makes more money. Your clients are happier. You get more serious results. But it's not that simple. There's an entire sales training module I have on just how to sell high ticket. Like it's not a joke. Like I used to think it's easy, eh? And that was when I was struggling in my business. I'm like, oh, it's simple, right? Let me just watch this video. Let me just get on and say this thing. Let me just follow the script. It's not that simple, man. You got to get good. The higher price you go, the better you got to be at closing. The more certain you got to be. It's not a joke. You're talking about $100,000 a month, $30,000 a month. People in corporate America, they kill themselves. They wait for a decade to get income like this, 360 grand a year. We're on $1.2 million a year. You know how many people in the world get to income level of 1.2 million a year, 100 grand a month? I'll tell you, not many. Okay, very little. The top 1% earners in America is only making 440 grand a year. That's the top 1%. So imagine even smaller than that is a slice of people who get to $1 million. Insane, right? And that's just America. You look at other countries too. In Canada, it's much less. My point to you is we're talking about achieving something really large here. So don't expect it to be a simple or easy thing. It's not. It might be simple to understand, but it's hard. You're going to have to work on it. You're going to need coaching. You're going to need time, patience. You're going to need great training. Like it's not a joke, guys. Like I feel like the market's filled with a bunch of people that are like, I want to win the Olympics. Armin, just what's your top tips for winning the Olympics? What? What do you mean winning the Olympics? It's winning the Olympics. It doesn't take a top tip to do that. It takes years of practice and focus and the best coaches around you. That was a great example. You guys getting this? So you're like, I want to win, a Super Bowl ring. Well, you got to hire the best coach, and that's not going to be cheap. You're going to have to hire the best coach in the effing world, and they're going to probably charge you an arm and a leg. But you're not willing to do that. They're not willing to win a Super Bowl ring. It's pretty much that simple, guys. So if you can't get to 30K with less than 6 clients, you got a sales problem. You don't know how to sell high ticket, and you just don't know how to close. Because some people I know they'll close like 50 grand in sales and collect like 18 grand of it. What the hell? You're not even collecting all the cash. So people do payment plans with you. They don't pay it off. Your business becomes a shit show. So you got to work on sales here. How you sell the prospect, how high price you sell them. Once you get to this, you can prove. And guys, nothing's definite. Maybe you fix your sales problem at 15 or 20 grand. Now you're ready to get to 50 or 100, whatever. I'm just giving you a guideline to go towards. But the next thing you focus on, the bottleneck now, is you're not having enough calls. So you get 10 calls, you have a 5, 7, or 10K price point. You get to 30K easily, but you're only talking to 20 people a month. That's not enough people. So it's like, now we have to get to 50 calls or 20 calls a week. How do we do that? Well, you got to focus on leads. This is where you introduce ads, or I don't even think about doing ads until you're at 50 grand. I'm not even 30, but you could also get into hyper organic, which is streamlining organic consistently, getting a call setter so that you can delegate the book call part and you just take the sales calls. At some point, you got to make sure the leads become streamlined. Now, if you get to 100 grand a month, but some of you are watching, you're like at 80, 100, maybe you did 120, and you're kind of lingering around 100. You're like, Armin, how do I exponentially explode my business like you did, where we went from 200 to 250 to 660 over like 3 months? Well, the answer is very simple. You got to make sure your program, your offer is streamlined in the back end so that you have no cap to selling more people. The way you do that is you introduce a video training, an on-demand coaching program where they give modules instead of weeks with you to go through stuff, and then you just have evergreen weekly calls. Like group calls, you just answer questions and strategic coaching. Now that is a project in and of itself. We have an entire module in my program where I give you my entire lesson slide deck. I give you like a made for you how to lay out your lessons and record it. I tell you how to record it, how to get an editor to edit it, how to outline the program, how to know what to put in, how to create your worksheets. It is a project on its own. That's not a money-making project. That's going to take you time and energy. It's going to cost you money. But that's why we have to get to 100K minimum, or have money in your bank account at least before you do that. Because you got to expect that for the next week or month, you might not have any money coming or little money coming because you're not taking sales calls or booking calls if you're a lone person, unless you have a team and stuff. But at this point, you wouldn't have a sales rep and a call setter yet. I'm a call setter maybe, but not a sales rep. So that means you're gonna have some hindrance on the sales side. But for me, I don't care. I did 106 grand, and I focused on finishing my on-demand program, and so that's why we only linger for 30, 50 for the next month, because I didn't care. I had money. I'm gonna focus on getting the client's best results, and we fix my program up. Elizabeth says so many coaches want ads right away. Bad decision, in my opinion. Yeah, 100%. So when you create a training and a program, and then you have weekly calls, now it's evergreen. No matter how many clients close, they're going to go into your funnel system where they're learning on their own, but they're also getting lots of attention on a leverage time basis. Now you have no ceiling anymore. I can close 200 clients. I can close 20 clients. It doesn't matter to me because I'm still going to spend the exact same amount of hours per week on one call where I handle everyone's questions. Some of you go, well, what if I don't answer everyone's questions? Well, you just add a second call and you add a third call. Regardless, even if you did a call every single day, think about this, for 2 hours each, that's 10 hours a week. You're running a $250,000 a month business on 10 hours a week of work coaching. You understand what I'm saying? I think that's great. And at this point as well in delivery, you do want to introduce like a salesperson, a call. You really want to make sure you have a team in place. Getting to 250 grand without a team, it's nearly impossible. Getting to 100 grand is a stretch without a team. You still want to implement at least an assistant and a call setter. And then by 100 grand, you want to introduce your sales rep. Because as well, training a sales rep, I mean, in my lead program, we fast track that process real well because we train them heavily, intensively, and we even help you find some good people. But it's going to cause, like, even with our help, there's a delay in results. Like, people have to be good unless you get someone who's already good at closing, and that's usually going to cost you a lot of money or be rare. So now the question is, okay, Armin, let's say I've automated my delivery, so I'm not strapped to my clients' results. Let's say my lead gen is streamlined. I have a call setter. I got ads. I got whatever's going on, booking calls every day. Like, we book 5 to 10 calls a day. On a low end, we book like maybe 2 or 3. It's not always the same amount, but we average around 5 to 7 calls a day, which is a lot because with my webinar world back in the day, that used to be how much I got a week, which has been insane to me because I do that a day now. So we're booking like insane amount of calls, but you don't need the same amount of calls either. If your sales is good and your high ticket, your price is high ticket. Like, we did 660 grand last month and we only had 62 calls booked. That doesn't mean all of them pay. Like, some of you are gonna be like, oh, so this program is 660 divided by 60. That's not how it works. Half those sales were my elite offer. The other half was my core offer. So price points are all over the place, but we didn't book a lot of calls. I know people that book 400 calls in a month to make the same 500 grand. I book like 60, 70 calls. Boom, we hit 660 grand. So again, it's because my offer, my sales are dialed in so heavily that when I get more leads, it just climbs the income. So delivery, let's say, is automated. Leads are good, sales are good, offers good. Now the question is, Armin, what is the secret sauce from 250 grand to get to 500K? And the answer might shock you. A lot of people think it's more marketing. A lot of people think it's more, oh, I got to bring in now, I got to hire an agency, got to scale my ads, got to do all this shit. No, you don't. Okay. Here's your biggest bottleneck that you need to watch out for between getting from 250, if you're already between this range where you're doing 6 figures a month, to like high multiple mids, $500,000 a month. Okay. This team and leadership, guys. That's it. Okay. What do I mean by team and leadership? Here's what I mean. You not being able to develop a strong team culture, have inspiration in your business with all the people working for you. If you're not a great leader, your business will break before hitting 500 grand. Because going from 250,000 to $500,000 a month in sales is literally a matter of just more work. Because at this point, when you get to this point right here, everything from here to here is just a matter of business strategies. Fixing your offer, getting better at sales, charging higher price, getting in more calls and leads coming in, making sure the delivery is streamlined. That's the entire business. Pretty much what I'm saying is you can get to up to $250,000 being a shitty leader and having a really wonky team. You really could. And I have clients. There's people I've met, like, they do 6 figures per month and no company culture, no leadership, no inspiration. They just got really good at doing these things, these variables. They got really good at selling, got a really good offer, they got really good at booking calls, and they got a program that's automated, so it's scalable. But what's the bottleneck going from 250 grand to beyond 500 grand, $1 million a month? I'm going to be at a few million a month very shortly. What's the bottleneck? Is you as the owner, is your team. Your team can't handle the weight. Your team doesn't know how to handle the more growth. Maybe they're burning out. Maybe there's no reason for them to keep going. Maybe your vision is not big enough. And leadership. Big bottleneck you need to watch out for right here. I'm going to give some of you guys, if any of you guys are at this mark and you're trying to get to 500, like you're already doing this much, let me give you a little very important lesson, okay? At this level, over here, getting to here, developing your team and stepping up into leadership and like going from Because see, from here to here, you go from here to here, you go from like job mentality, so like employee, to pretty much entrepreneur. You know, you're an entrepreneur because you're selling stuff on your own, or a lone wolf entrepreneur, right? This is where you go from job or mindset of like, I don't never owned a business before, to entrepreneur, because you get your first 10, 30 grand and like you like make something happen out of thin air. That's what entrepreneurship is. Going from here to here is all about becoming a CEO. Okay. This is where you transition to being a CEO, where you literally focus on like building systems and managing the business. So now you're an operator of the business. That's what a CEO is. He makes the CEO makes decisions and manages leaders, like manages essentially managers. So at this point, you're going to have a call setter. You're going to have like whatever coaches maybe working for you, some salespeople to get to 250 grand a month. At that point, you're pretty much all you are is just CEO. And again, a lot of people glorify being a CEO, but a CEO is just like pretty much the head manager of a company. Okay. But going from here to here is what I call becoming a leader, like an impact-driven leader. And not only that, but becoming an owner, a business owner. You understand the difference? A business owner owns the business and only works on the business. CEO works in the business. Entrepreneur doesn't even have a business. You just have an offer that you can sell. That's why getting to 30 grand is not a big deal. But you can do it without any systems. You can literally do it from going out there, getting exposure, getting people's attention, getting on calls and closing sales, and then like delivering. That's just a little self-employed business. That's entrepreneurship, right? Just making money from, you know, an avenue. But being a CEO is now managing things. So that means you go into like, I have people I got to oversee. So I'm a CEO. I'm looking at the company. What's the next move we got to make? You're working in the business. Becoming a leader and a business owner is the highest level. This is where you go to multi-millions. I have friends that do 8, 9 figures. You know, I had the privilege of spending the last 30 days of my life with someone who's worth $800 million, 9 figures, had $1 billion company they sold. And these people, man, when you meet them, you can tell their mindset. Yeah, they're owners. They work on the business, never in the business. Okay. And so at this level, what you need to worry about, not worry about, but the bottleneck you got to be careful about is keeping bad people and losing good people. I'm gonna say this again. Keeping bad people on your team and losing good people on your team. This is what I'm talking about with team and leadership. I have a lot of clients I meet that have some great people and I see potential in them, and I'm coaching the owners, right? So I'm like, you got to bring this person up, man. This person could run your company for you one day, but you're not thinking like an owner. You're not thinking like a leader. You're being a CEO. And so you're being the bottleneck to your own business, because you got people on your team that are willing to step up and become your CEOs, become your executives that could run this thing. So you finally elevate and become an owner and just look at the thing working. This last 30 days, you did 660 grand in my company. I was more of an owner than ever before. I felt euphoric. I was so proud. That's why I paid 100 grand out to everyone on my team, because I look at them as CEOs. I don't look at my team as employees. I don't look at my team as my, you know, people working for me. No, they are all CEOs to me. They're all my partners. That's why 100 grand, I did 6 figures in payroll. Some of you read my post last month for last month's income. That was bonuses and salaries and everything. Because why? Because I had the privilege. It's such a privilege to me. It's such an honor. I can sit back and see this entire company run on its own self-sufficiently. And because I just did this, I'm trying to give you a heads up. It has nothing to do with more marketing or sales, man. Nothing to do with it. Maybe everything prior $250,000 or less has to do with marketing and sales and you know, delivery. For sure, I showed you by stage. But you want to get to 500 grand, $1 million a month, it's all about culture. It's like, is your team a $1 million a month team? Is your team going to go the extra mile? Do they work over hours with you? Is everyone invested into the vision of the company? Are people loving what they do? Are you finding people in your teams their strength zones and telling them to focus on it? Or are you using people in their weakness zones? Taking someone's not good at something, putting them there just because you need it done. Some mistakes that business owners make sometimes. Or you don't know how to bring potential out of somebody. Like, they can be great for you, but you don't know how to bring it out. An example is, I have someone on my team, without saying anything, was working in a company that was doing, you know, over 8 figures, like 10 million a year. And they're 10 times the size of my company. But this person's potential was not being mined. It was not being pulled out. And so he was always plateaued in the company. And he decided to switch over to my company because the culture and leadership we have here, by the way, just so you know that. And he's like, man, my goal is to make, you know, $21,000. His first month in coming and working with us, he did 20,300 in income with us. And it's funny because his most he ever made in the other company was like 10 to 13 grand. And that was with him doing freelance on the side. So he really only made like around 10, maybe less. So think about it, he made twice the amount of income in a company, 10 times less the size. Why? Because I knew how to bring his potential out. Because when I saw him, I knew how to, I had leadership wisdom where I'm like, I could pull this guy out, make him even bigger than he is. Now if he loves what he does, he's a part of something he actually feels like he's important about. My point is, to get to these amounts, you have to really focus on your team, developing people. You build the people, people build the business. So this is how you get from 0 to 500 grand a month, and focusing on what bottleneck at what stage of the business. And I just want to let you know, if you guys are watching this right now, every single thing you need here, we take care of, me and my team do for you guys. So if you guys have been hesitant or like thinking about working with us, like, don't be afraid. Like, we don't bite. Like, you want to get from here, like, no matter where you're at the journey, if you're here, you want to get here, you're here, you want to get here, you're here, you want to get here, or here, whatever it is. We have a program for you. You know, our scaling and clients program helps everyone going from 0 to 100 grand. You know, we can get you to here, just focus on these 3 pillars right here, and automation of like these. Well, we even give you this, actually, believe it or not. So you can get to 250 grand with our SGC program. With my elite program, a lot of people between this stage and this stage join my elite program, because what we do in that is I fast track you to $250,000, then to 500 grand a month. Because what I'm doing is I'm working on team and leadership right off the bat and automating the entire business, streamlining operations. Which again, the streamlining operations has to be here. So delivery is a part of operations, what I'm trying to say. So if you guys are watching this, you guys are interested in like working with our team, you just want to see how it's going to work. We're about to raise the price again for all of our programs. Then book a call. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, you guys could literally schedule a call and find out it's for you. The point of booking a call is simple. Like, first of all, once you book a call, we're going to give you a bunch of material to check out, so you can actually see what our program is about, the overview of it and everything. So if you ever have questions about it, booking a call is the only way to find out. And second, the call really is more of a conversation. Like, we don't do sales calls. We do conversations. What I mean by that is, when you get on the phone with my team, like, I've made sure that we don't have a sales force. I don't like the idea of a sales force. We have more like a conversation. You know, it's like, get on. It's like, let me just figure out if this is for you. And if it is, you know it is too. Let's just figure out how we can make it work. And we never let money become a problem as long as people show us they're dedicated. So if you're watching this right now and you do want to scale your business and you want help, you want that coaching attention, if this training was valuable to you, then I invite you to book a call. Just hit the link in the description below in the video, or you can go ahead and hit the link in the comments. Lauren, if you want, you can drop it in there if you're watching. And if you're not, I could put it in here too. Give me a second. There you go. So I just put the link in there for you guys. I really do encourage you to check it out. Like, don't be afraid. Procrastination never brought anyone any results. Yeah. It's totally free to book a call with us, and we get on. Obviously, we're going to see if we can get you as a client. But it's pretty obvious that if you're booking a call, you're also saying if you can get into the program. So it's a very mutual, genuine transaction, right? We're just going to find out. And if it's not a fit, we'll send you somewhere that is a fit. I have a lot of friends in the space that are have competing programs to me, and I think it's better that you to go there. I'll go there. I've sent people away before. You know, people hit me up like, what's the difference between you and this person? I'm like, we're more expensive. And we give you a little more, but which one do you resonate with more? Oh, well, if you can, one guy's like, if you can drop the price on yours, I'll do yours instead of theirs. I'm like, I don't do that. That's not how I work. You should go with them if you're looking for a cheaper price. But I'm like, their program is good to go ahead. And the person went there. And so to me, I'm like, I'm totally fine. If you guys want to check it out and then let us know after, I'm cool with that. I'm very confident in our process. I give a success guarantee in my program too. We don't do refunds, but we do success guarantees, because what's the point of a refund? Imagine you came in, you paid us all this money, 90 days pass by, you get no results. Do you really care about the money back in your account, or are you gonna be pissed that you wasted 3 months of your life? So I don't really give a refund, because it's just an overall shitty scenario for everyone. What I do instead is I focus on a success guarantee, which means our program is a 90-day program to 100K a month. And that's my goal with you guys. Some people only do 50. Some people do 100 grand in total 30 days. When there's beginners, they get to 30 grand in 90 days a month. Either way, whatever's good for you. I just know everything I give you takes you to that 100K a month mark. You get everything you need. The only issue might be you, and you need more work, then Elite's for you, because we work on development and leadership. But I will tell you this. If you're in the 90th, the third month of my program, and I see you're not getting the results I want you to get, I actually step in one-on-one and I work with you as if you're an elite client. I paid $50,000. And so that's something no one else really does. And it's because I know my confidence in my program, it usually never happens. I have to, because everyone gets the results. Or second, I do genuinely care about you getting results. I don't want just your money. I don't feel like I've earned my clients' money until they've not just made money back, but they've transformed their life in a sense. So some people come in and they realize I got one guy come in once. He spent 2-3 months with us. He built this webinar. This is a part of our program. We show you how to build a webinar too. He built this group. He did everything. He got a few clients in, like a few, like low ticket. He had his own issues, right? And his focus was in here. He realized, he's like, man, after going through your program, you made me realize how serious I'm not taking this and how I thought it's just gonna be a quick thing. I realized this business isn't for me. So I want to thank you for that. I'm gonna go focus on this instead of my life. And I wanted to figure that out unless I joined your program. I'm like, it's what a reverse compliment, but I love that because he came in and we showed him the real stuff. Like, this is a no BS system. This is exactly how you build $1 million business in coaching. And there's no easier way. And he's like, oh, I didn't know it's that hard. I didn't know it's like this. Now that I do, I realize I don't want it. And so he's like, but you changed my life because I realized I don't want to do this. What a crazy thing. That's how comprehensive our program is, that people go, oh, damn, I didn't know that this is what it takes. I thought it was easier because someone lied to me in an advertising video, making me think it's an overnight thing. So we keep it real, man. So yeah, if you guys want to, go book a call. As soon as you do, my team is going to reach out and set up a group with you and my team, and we're going to talk with you. And if you can get in this week, we got some new stuff coming in. So anyone who joins the program today or tomorrow, like this week, you guys are going to get some goodies, man. I got some elite things I did with my elite clients that I'm going to be giving to the clients in SGC, which is next level stuff. But only for the people that joined this week, because I'm going to be blocking it out next week, moving forward for everyone who's in by now. So you know me, I want to give you a reason to sign up faster. So if you do want to work with us, go ahead and book a call. If you don't see the link in the comments, it's highticketcoaching.com/breakthrough. And so you just go, you fill out the application, be honest on the application, because we cancel more than half of our applications because we don't want to waste our time with people that are kicking tires or not serious about their own life and goals. So love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this show. If you want to get your questions answered on the show, sometimes you do trainings of this, sometimes I answer your questions, then go to askarmy.com and submit your questions there and we'll answer them. Also, leave some comments down below on your number one takeaway. I'd love to know what the biggest thing you got from this. And love you so much. If you're new to the group, by the way, welcome to the family. And hopefully we can help you out. My team, Lauren, and even myself through my account, I'm going to be sending you messages. So make sure you check your message requests. You can check your inbox, and we're going to send you some good stuff. We're always dropping new content, new trainings to help you guys out. We've had people make a lot of money just from our free stuff alone. So love you guys so much. We go live every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you can get some more goodies like this. Love you guys so much. I'll see you next week. Go on and make the rest of your week the best of your week.